I thought today might be a good a day as any to bust out the old Rakers Delight t-shirt, considering how Thursday went the other day. Monday was a dismal day. You lose $500. How can we fix that? Very simply, by winning $600, getting all your picks correct on Thursday, and coming into this Sunday with some much-needed confidence. It was a beautiful Thursday. I said, I'm willing to put my whole night on the shoulders of Demario Douglas. And then you had that guy in the comments. Who knows who he was? He goes, what? Jalen Polk's their number one receiver. Is he? Is he? Is he? I don't know, but we can talk about that another time because we have some Sunday sniffs to get to. You may have heard some of them already if you watched a Dave and a Dan yesterday. I talked about some that I liked while we were talking about some of these games. And if you are a pizzeria guy, you want to go to the pizzeria and you want to say, hey, I got money lines and spreads. I'm a Megaladan, where I'm only going to bet on the local game. Like if your pizzeria is in Baltimore, he'll only take bets on the Ravens game. Fortunately for you, I have a bet or two on that Ravens game. But make sure you go check out a Dave and a Dan. I really think it was entertaining. It's rare to see that many positive comments on anything. You go to any of my hockey videos, any of these football videos, my personal videos, there's always a contingent of miserable people. But people seem pretty happy about the show, and all I can say is do me a favor then, share it with more people, and definitely engage with that video the same way you would with this video. We talked about a couple picks on there, and I want to start with a few that I can't give out to you. I'm sorry. I'm going to give them to you right now, but they're essentially null and void because of what's happened over the course of the week. The prices change. As you guys saw last week, you can have that opening line on Goddard and London win, or take the closing line last second and lose. And over the course of the week on the Patreon, I gave out some what I believe to be great numbers on particular players. And I've seen people comment down below before, like, should I join the Patreon? Is it really worth it over there? This isn't a money-making service. It costs the price of a box of ice cream Snickers, which I think in the last year, they say it's like tripled. You want ice cream Snickers? It's now triple. It's now more expensive than the Patreon. Despite everything that's happened on the channel, despite me coming out with the Connor McDavid bet and this, that, and the other, and me constantly being in the bunkers, did you get any price raise on the Patreon? No. It's your old 2020 7-Eleven ice cream Snickers prices. And I posted these like Tuesday, Wednesday. Look at this. Brandon Ayuk, low 60s. You can take the over. Now, what are we looking at? 75.5. And why is that? Because I saw, well, we know there's going to be no Debo. We know there's no McCaffrey out of the backfield. Now, George Kittle's dealing with an issue in practice. We got to jump on this line. There you go. There you have it. There's going to be no Kittle. Now he's in the mid-70s. After that, there was Devon Achane. They obviously are marching Skylar Thompson in there, who has a history of checking down when he has started. Achane is the third receiver on the team, plays some of his snaps at receiver, and we saw workhorse utilization during that Monday Night Football game. We saw his receiving total at 23.5 now. You're probably looking at 29.5. Those are all off the board. The third one that you guys wouldn't even take this. You would. Nobody's going to take it. It's just going to be me. Yet the number has still gone up. I'm going back to him, and that's Tank Dell. I got him at 45.5 receiving yards because I have a philosophy. Not only do I want the discounted number on guys after bad weeks, I also want the guy who's screwed. Tank Dell owes me money, and I'm coming to collect on Sunday. But all kidding aside, there's going to be no mix-in, so they're throwing Akers in there. They're going to have a pass-heavy approach. That Minnesota run defense has been pretty good, so I think it's a great day for Tank Dell over 45.5. But enough with the ones you can't play. You guys want to get on the board. You want someplace. Fortunately, there are plenty of those still available for you. Some that I talked about on a Dave and a Dan. And look, Tank Dell may have screwed you last week, but a bunch of those other guys didn't. And I'm going to start with somebody who not only didn't screw you, he covered his almost in the first half. I was expecting to see this number go way up, but they kept it pretty low. And this is C.Olave of the New Orleans Saints in the low 60s. I think it's currently at 61.5.
God damn it, let's do it again.
Now, C.Olave he's really the only true wide receiver on that team. They don't run these 3 wide receiver sets. As I said on a Dave and a Dan, best part about New Orleans is the consolidated receiver stack, where it's just Rashid Shaheed, who still doesn't run the full route tree. He's expanded it, but still, you're looking at, 4 catches for him, almost 5 catches max on his best day, but he'll still have days where he has 2 catches for like 75 yards. And then obviously there's Kamara out of the backfield. C.Olave is their lone method to move the ball through the air consistently. Now, I'm not talking about the Rashid Shaheed deep shots, but I'm talking about, curls, drags over the middle. And like I mentioned yesterday, these plays that Kubiak is running are designed to get him in space, and we saw multiple catches of over 20 yards the other day. He also got tackled on like the 1 yard line. I just think this is a fantastic value for C.Olave. So give me the over 61.5 receiving for C.Olave. I will come back to this game and dish out. Actually, should I just stay there? All right, I'll just stay there. I found out today that, I know you're not going to think anything of this, but Taysom Hill, he's not going to be playing in this game. All right, so is that going to change? Didn't move the line. Yeah, but it makes me like one of these lines even more. The Philadelphia Eagles have just had the ball run all over them 2 straight games. Josh Jacobs, you saw last week with Bijan, even Algier. Every running back has been kind of going off against them, getting theirs. So if we know that Taysom Hill isn't getting those 4 or 5 carries that he got in week 1 and was on his way to getting week 2, and we know that Kamara is a 29-year-old kind of running back with not the biggest frame, they have to kind of, not fully, but they have to somewhat limit his utilization and carries. I think a potential uptick for Jamaal Williams in this game is very likely, and his rushing totals at 16.5. We saw the backup running back, the 4th string running back for Green Bay clear that number. We obviously saw Algier clear that number. So I like the over on rushing yards for Jamaal Williams. And then a little same game parlay for that game. Give me the over for Olave receiving. Give me the over for Jamaal Williams rushing yards. And then give me the over on rushing attempts for Jalen Hurts. Considering there's no A.J. Brown, and you saw last week, they don't have many guys who can get wide open. Outside of Devontae Smith, nobody was getting open. Goddard wasn't getting open. They don't trust Dotson. They don't really have... So, Hurts, you saw kind of put it on his shoulders at times. Then when you factor in the tush pushes count, they all count as rushes. I kind of like that over. So give me a same game parlay with those 3. And now we can kind of go to the next game. One that I kind of just mentioned with Brandon Ayuk, and that is the Rams 49ers. Now you guys know how I typically feel about K.Williams. I call him the Chalker-Roach. I think he's way better than most people think. But when you're missing 3 out of 5 starters on your offensive line, nobody has a chance to do that well. When you have backups in there, did you see the Patriots offensive line on Monday? You're missing guys, you're missing starters. It's a nightmare for you. So K.Williams, they have his total at 67.5 rushing yards. This is something that, although I'm a fan of him, I got to take the under on. When you consider San Fran's defensive line coming in there and the state of affairs with the offensive line of the LA Rams, I think this is just a clear under for me. And going back to what I was saying about the 49ers and their lack of pass catchers, I think Jordan Mason's going to have to catch a couple screens this week. Without Kittle, without Debo, there's nothing short available to them. I know, your Kyle Juszczyk thing, but I also like Jordan Mason. So give me a separate same-game parlay with the over on Jordan Mason receiving yards and combine that with the alt-under on K.Williams rushing. Obviously, a theme over the first couple weeks are values and numbers on receivers, running guys who had a bad week. We're looking for a low number that we can exploit, maybe even sometimes take the alts. Well, sometimes it isn't just because they had a bad week. Sometimes we're getting a good number on them because that number was built by an awful quarterback, and now a new quarterback is coming in and could breathe new life into that player. So this one comes with a little more risk than somebody like Olave, who we've seen been good with Carr last year. I'm looking at D.Johnson, somebody who traditionally has been great at earning targets. And now Bryce Young, another amazing young quarterback who doesn't know how to throw the ball and play quarterback like a real human being, has been sent to the bench in favor of Andy Dalton, who, look, nothing special, but he's serviceable enough to allow D.Johnson to hit over 46.5, 47.5 receiving yards. D.Johnson has traditionally, no matter who's been a Kenny Pickett even was able to help him get to some overs. He gets great separation, and if he can just have a few targets, I think he'll be able to get there. I mean, the target share is usually always there for Johnson. Andy Dalton should at least be good enough to get him a couple catches. So give me the over on Johnson. And there are two guys we won with last week. And by golly, the numbers haven't moved much on them since last week. And by golly, am I tempted to take both of them. But something's telling me stake in the woods. I feel like they're just trying to bait me to take it. We won on both of them. Should I just go elsewhere? And I'm talking about Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. We nailed both of them last week. Don't say, yeah, but it happened real late. I don't care. As my Uncle Bobby said, oh, I'm sorry, I checked the paper the next day. It looks like I won. But these are really low totals for the both of these guys, considering what key parts of the offense they are. So what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to take them individually. I'm not going to make you put down on both of them. Give me the alt over. Lower totals on the both of them, but I will take both of them in there for a same game parlay. Just the both of them. Lower totals. Give me the over. That takes us to a slight plus money. I will take that, and we'll see how it goes. I want to have a little skin on them because I'll be pissed if they both go off and I got nothing. Here's the way I can say, all right, I lost. I didn't have to invest a lot, but let's just see if we should take advantage of those low numbers once again. So give me both of those guys in a 2-game, same-game parlay with the alt overs, lower totals. And lastly, Sunday Night Football. We got a couple in there that I really do like. I wouldn't tell you unless there were a couple in there that I liked. I mentioned this yesterday on a Dave and a Dan, which you should definitely go check out if you haven't already. And this is Travis Kelce's over on receiving. And now you're cursing at the screen. He's cooked. He's cooked. I'm just sick of people. I'm already over that word. Everybody, some guy just, oh yeah, remember Cooper Kupp? He's cooked. Or he's just injured. And now he's injured again. He's going to come back, have a bag. He's cooked. Well, Travis Kelce, while I'm not a fan of him for the year, we are looking at a 47.5 yard receiving total. Why do I like that? I thought you were about Rasheed Rice. You were all about Rasheed Rice. I said until his total doesn't start with a 6. Doesn't start with a 6, I'm off Rasheed Rice. But what I really like even more about this, no Isaiah Pacheco, who's just been such a crucial part of this offense for 2 seasons now. They obviously haven't been throwing as much these last couple years. Now they're going to have no choice to because they have a running back by committee. They have 4.8 at the combine, Carson Steele, and then Pirine, who they've had for a couple of weeks. They haven't been utilizing him even though he's been there. So they're obviously not huge fans. They signed Kareem Hunt. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be coming back. Full mess in the backfield. To me, that just means the Chiefs' pass rate is going to go up. And Kelce just has to be, it doesn't even have to be that much of a factor. We're looking at 47.5 yards receiving for Travis Kelce. And remember, he had a couple of big catches that were called back in week 2. So if that's going to be the case, I mean, he did have some catches week 1. It's not like he had nothing. I'm pretty sure he cleared this total in week 1. So give me that over on Travis Kelce. And then also give me the over on Patrick Mahomes rushing yards, considering the same exact thing that I said. No running backs they can trust. If Rasheed Rice isn't getting open and Kelce looks a little dusty, Mahomes is going to have to take off a little bit more than usual. We know in the times that he has to, when he has to shoulder the burden, he's not a run-first guy, which is probably why he's in Super Bowls, but he'll run when he has to, and I think he's going to be doing that a little bit in this game until they situate what they're going to do with those running backs. So give me the over on Patrick Mahomes rushing yards. And now let's give you people what you've all been waiting for, what you've all been craving, and that is your Pirate Parlays of the day. And what I'm going to do here, something that I tried to urge you guys when I was giving betting tips and betting advice. Anytime you really place a big Pirate Parlay with like a big payout, you always want the last leg of that Pirate Parlay to be a heavy minus in an island game by itself. So you completed everything first, and then the last leg is a heavy minus, preferably an alt, that can be hedged for big plus money on the other way. Not only hedged for big plus money, but in a way where you can hit both the massive Pirate Parlay and the plus money hedge. How do you like that? So let's dial up some Pirate Parlays. The first one, I remember when I used to watch the LA Kings, they had like that 70s line. Well, we're going to have that 70s parlay. The first one being C.Olave, just talked about him. Then give me D.Johnson for 70 plus. Then give me T.Kelce for 70 plus. And then give me the alt over on rushing for Zach Moss. And why are we choosing that number, you ask? Because we can then take the under on that, the plus money under, and even allow us an opportunity to hit both. So we can hedge and give ourselves the opportunity to hit the original parlay and the hedge. If you're going to be a pirate, at least be a good one. That is what I have for you here on a Sunday. I hope it goes just as well as Thursday. Time will tell. If you guys want, there will be more parlays, more conversations around noon, 12:15 tomorrow. I will do the thing where I hop into the chat using my voice, which I'm allowed to do, and I'll field some questions from you guys. That will be over there on the Patreon. Hopefully, I will see you there. If not, come on, you got to do some things for me here. Like these videos, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Go watch a Dave and a Dan. I really thought it was entertaining now that I had somebody helping me pull up all the graphics and whatnot. Do you want to see an AI graphic of a Megalodan? Well, then go check out that video from yesterday. Like I said, hopefully I see you on the Patreon. If not, I will see you tomorrow for some Monday Night Football, where if you watched a Dave and a Dan, there are a couple plays in there that I really, really like. Take it easy. I will talk to you tomorrow.
First down.